Hi there, my name is Angus Wright, and I also go by Angus By Design. And this is another day in a personal practice of which I call my Satsang for One, where I listen to an episode of the Ram Dass Be Here Now podcast. I journal about it, I write some quotes down in my physical journal, and I pull an animal oracle card for the purpose of cultivating mindfulness and reflection. I do all of this as part of my own personal wellness recovery action planning and as part of my own daily maintenance um, for my own wellness. And today's episode was called One Family, Many Paths. And the first quote is Karmic Consciousness. We have the kind of individual freedom that nobody in the world has ever had before. But that individual freedom, we are finding out, can be a path to incredible suffering if we throw out the baby with the bath. That's Ram Dass. The next quote is under One Family, Many Paths. You can have a family in which the whole karmic range is in one family. So it is with your kids. Your kids are unique entities that have come to Earth to do their unique work. And the last quote is under a Dharmic family. A family can be a strangling type of thing that catches you, or it can be a vehicle for your freedom. The way you use the family to become free is to become a Dharmic parent or a Dharmic child. You hear the role and you fulfill it impeccably. And so Dharma is just sort of referring to purpose, right? Yeah. So with that, I'll take the energy. You know, for me, I am the youngest of 9. And my family is comprised of, my oldest 7 siblings are part of a connection between their mother and my dad. One of my siblings is born of the connection between between my mother and her partner, and then I'm the product of my mom and my dad. So there's kind of like some dualities there. I'm 9 of 9, but I'm also a single child of that particular combination of parents. And I was born into a family that already had a vibe going, already had their roles sort of set out. And I was born during a time when that was in flux and changing, and all the dynamics around that. So I've had some pretty unique experiences over time. So when I reflect on this and these teachings, it's kind of refreshing to think about how even within a large family structure, we all have our own purpose. We all have our own role. And what really kind of matters is how we play our part and what we do from a karma standpoint, karmic. I always think of the quote, you know, my karma is my dharma, which means that, I always need to work on myself because I evolve at a different pace, right? Just like everybody. So, with that energy, we'll pull today's card. And the card for today is the Fox Spirit. And the fox says, think on your feet. Beautiful card. So let's see what the fox has to say in relation to this. So Fox Spirit, think on your feet. The oracle message. Be alert now, for Fox Spirit has appeared, and you are meant to move swiftly. Let this clever spirit draw out your creativity as you adjust to rapidly changing circumstances with resilience, grace, and astuteness. Fox Spirit helps you think on your feet, using your best judgment and wits to help you slip into a more advantageous situation. Now is not a time to hesitate, but a time for swift action of the mind. A time to think outside of the box and notice the many ways in which you might make a move. Aware of your surroundings and always clear on what you deserve and wish to co-create. Trust that your cleverness, guided by Fox Spirit, will serve you well. The protection message in this card. Are you camouflaging yourself to avoid intimacy? Perhaps you are being too clever for your own good and playing games to protect yourself. Being dishonest with yourself or others can become isolating and create obstacles to true connection. Fox Spirit calls you to be attuned to what is happening within you and around you, so that your quick thinking and creativity can lead you to better relationships and situations. You are called to use your Fox Spirit beneficially, rather than in ways to keep you from experiencing what you want. Or perhaps right now you're realizing that a situation is trickier than it appears on the surface, and you are afraid to make a move in case it turns out to be a mistake. Fox Spirit is here to remind you that when you are in alignment with the Great Spirit, the answers and solutions can come quickly and you can trust them. Don't overthink a situation in order to avoid the challenge of facing a difficult truth. Fox Spirit's creative nature will always be there to guide you and help you move quickly into better circumstances. Wow. So I love this card. I love this message. Think on your feet, right? And what I kind of really gather from that is that sense of, how can I put this? So when I think of, the idea of being surrounded by family or people or community and stuff like that, there can always be a pressure to fit in, to conform, to not rock the boat, to kind of mask individualism in favor of the safety of a crowd, right? So to speak. And the lessons and the teachings are really about, how do we evolve individually, and how do we sort of manage the duality of wanting to be safe and protective and sort of guarding ourselves, but also be living in our dharma, like living our life's purpose as part of a bigger whole, as part of a family, as part of a community. And with that in mind, right? Like the fox, I mean, this is my deck. So it's tuned into to me primarily, right? So then the energy that I was putting into it. And so when I think of that, this might be TMI, but I'm a single person. I'm not in a relationship. And I've recently, I used to be a dog dad, right? But then my dogs passed from old age as part of like their life cycle. So naturally, I've been like, well, what does all this mean? Like, am I meant to be single? Am I meant to start dating? Do I open myself up to relationships and connections and friendships? What does that look like? And my head can spin just kind of wondering, right? Whereas Fox Spirit says, just think on your feet. Like, don't overthink it. Don't, just be, just do. So naturally, again, I just love that message. I love how it ties in. Um, I've often been called a snowflake, so it makes me think, well, yeah, I'm absolutely an individual snowflake. I'm absolutely unique in my own design. And at the same time, I can be part of snow. When enough snowflakes come together, right, they stick around and they become a beautiful blanket of snow. And everything has a role, everything has a place, everything has a purpose. And here I am, right here, right now. So again, I just love that. Namaste. If you'd like to hear more, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. You'll get notifications. Make sure to click the notification piece. This is just part of my own practice. It is a satsang for one, but we're all connected, right? If you feel compelled to connect with me, please feel free to do so. Angus By Design. I'm Angus at angusbydesign.com is my email. And you're free to leave comments here as well. All right, so namaste.